Hello, in this video I will explain you and demonstrate what is MetalLB and why do we need it in Kubernetes. When we deploy applications in Kubernetes, one of the first questions is, how do we actually make them accessible from outside the cluster? That's usually easy in the cloud, but if you run in Kubernetes on your own servers, things get a little bit tricky. So today let's talk about the three main service types: ClusterIP, NodePort, and LoadBalancer. And then I'll show you how MetalLB fixes the problem for bare metal Kubernetes clusters. Alright, let's start with the basics. First up, ClusterIP. This one only works inside the cluster. It creates virtual IP that other pods can reach, but nothing outside can access it. Great for internal communication, not so great if you want real users to connect. Next, we've got NodePort. This one opens a specific port on every node, so you can reach your app using the node's IP and that port number. It works, but it's kind of messy. You have to manage port manually, and there is no true load balancer. It's more for debugging, but not for production. And finally, load balancer. This is the easiest and most popular one in the cloud. On AWS, GCP or Azure, when you create a load balancer service, Kubernetes automatically asks the cloud to spin up a real load balancer with a public IP. You don't have to do anything, it just works. But what happens if your cluster isn't in the cloud? Let's say you're running it on your own servers, maybe in a data center or even at home. You create a load balancer service and nothing happens. No IP address, no traffic, no magic. That's because Kubernetes has no built way to create a load balancer on bare metal. There is no cloud provider IP to talk to. And this is where Metal comes to the rescue. The name literally stands for MetalLB Load Balancer. It's an open source project that gives bare metal Kubernetes cluster the same load balancer experience you'd have to in the cloud. Here's how it works. When you create a load balancer service, MetalLB automatically assigned to an IP from your local network, something like here. Then it makes that IP reachable from your LAN, so anyone in your network can hit your app, just like in the cloud. MetalLB can run in two different modes. Layer 2 mode, which is super simple and works out of the box. It just notices IPs via app, and BGP mode, which integrates with your routers if you have a more advanced setup. Let's set up and configure it. But before we go ahead, please subscribe to my channel and like. Alright guys, in this part of the video I'll show you how to install MetalLB on your Kubernetes cluster step by step. This setup will give us a working load balancer on bare metal, just like in the cloud. First, let's install MetalLB itself. It's super easy. We'll apply the official manifest straight from the MetalLB GitHub repository. This command deploys all the MetalLB components, the controller and speaker, into the MetalLB system namespace. Give it a few seconds to start up, we'll move on. Let's check it. Next, we need to define which IP address MetalLB can use when it's assigning external IPs to our services. To do that, let's create an IP address pool file. Inside the file, paste this YAML definition. This means MetalLB will take IPs from this range, from 240 to 250 range. Of course, replace it with whatever range fits your local network. I have 23 prefix of local network. Let's replace for my LAN range. Okay. Once that's done, the IP pool inside the MetalLB system namespace. Let's create it. Manifest apply. Now we create one more file, the layer 2 advertisement. This tells MetalLB to actually announce those IPs on your local network so that they are reachable. Let's create a file for advertisement. Paste this YAML. That's it. Save the file and apply it. Oh, did you mean apply? Yes, exactly. It's a mistake. Apply. Perfect. Now MetalLB knows which IPs to advertise and how to make them visible on the network. Let's see that everything are running correctly. We got a range of IPs for MetalLB and LoadBalancer and see if advertisement was accepted. Yes, first pool was accepted advertisement. And if you now create a service of type LoadBalancer, MetalLB will automatically assign one of those IPs to your service. Let's, for demonstrating purposes, create a service with LoadBalancer. We create a deployment Jinx, and now we can expose this deployment the outside. You should see an external IP from the pool 204, as you can see. Now accessing that IP from your network should reach the Nginx service. Let's check it out. But before, if you have one node cluster, you have to fix some problem with it in MetalLB. In these purposes, you have to edit your speaker config file. If you see MetalLB not advertising my service from my control plane nodes or my single node cluster, you have to install this line to your configuration file. Paste. Save and exit. Now let's check it again. Yes, now we have a reachable Nginx from outside Kubernetes cluster, and as we have assigned IP to our load balancer service. So let's make a conclusion in this video. MetalLB solves the lack of load balancer in bare metal Kubernetes. You install it as a controller and speaker in your cluster. You configure an IP pool, service of type load balancer get IPs from that pool, and that's it. MetalLB is now fully installed and configured. Your bare metal Kubernetes cluster can finally use the load balancer service, just like in the cloud. If this helped you understand MetalLB, hit like, subscribe, and let me know if the comment what other Kubernetes tools you'd like me to cover next.